Hey everybody. So, the past few months I've been kind of barren on here, I know. Other than dumping a bunch of old short films of mine into a playlist on my channel, I haven't really been posting a whole lot. But that's because right now, as we speak, I am editing a behemoth video. Like, seriously, one I've been conceptualizing and trying to get made for like 4 years now. And that'll be coming out soon. But until then, I'm making this video to fill in time and mark the beginning of a new series. In the finale of movies I watched last month, I said that I didn't really see a need to continue the series since I was no longer a film student, and I also said that hopefully within 6 months of that finale coming out, that I'd be releasing an epilogue to the entire series. Well, even though I'm not a film student anymore, I'm actually required to watch quite a few movies in some of my classes for what I'm currently studying. On top of that, I still have a ton of movies that friends or professors have recommended to me that I still haven't watched yet. So I'm going to push that big epilogue video back to sometime around the end of this coming summer or the end of my senior year of school, and then every movie that I have seen within the time of that big epilogue video coming out and the finale of movies I watched last month will, in some capacity, briefly be covered within that big epilogue video. But then there comes the question of the television shows that I've watched within that time. If you've ever seen the movies I watched last month series, you know that on top of movies, I also talk about TV shows, or documentaries, or short films, or just other cool stuff that I've seen within that month's period of time. I still want to be able to talk about these television shows, or cool things, or whatever, within a short and semi-consistent format. Hence, the creation of this new series. Ideally, I'll be able to pump out these uploads super quick between my bigger uploads and still dig into that media criticism and analysis that I love to do. So, with all that said, please enjoy this inaugural episode of Right off the bat, is it good? Yes. Is it worth the hype? Sure. Is it perfect? Hell no. Alright, where do I start? I'll say this up front. The first 6 episodes of Squid Game are some of the most thrilling and engaging hours of television I've ever experienced. The first episode alone is one of the strongest pilots I've ever seen. The pacing is perfect, it's got neat production design, our cast of main characters is diverse and interesting, and everything that happens ends up having genuine consequences that mean something to the greater themes or story. The social commentary is simple, but written in an effective way that any audience can understand. And while I may personally take issue with some elements of the last 3 episodes, based on the first 6 episodes alone, I'd recommend this show to absolutely anybody. So if you still haven't seen this series for some reason, check it out for yourself and draw your own conclusions. I'm looking forward to season 2 and I'm intrigued to see what happens next. Seriously, this show is totally worth watching. Okay, there's my overall spoiler-free feelings on this season. So from here on out, be aware. Spoilers for a show that's been out for 6 months and is one of the most popular things in syndicated history. Let's talk about those final 3 episodes. They each definitely have their moments, but they really bring down the quality of the series in retrospect. Episode 7. The challenge with the bridge, while super entertaining to watch, kinda goes against the entire purpose of the games. Where each other challenge can be seen as fair in their own messed up ways, this game is overtly unfair to any of the players who go earlier. I like the camaraderie that Gi-hoon and Sae-byok start building in this episode, but the unfairness of the game sorta makes everything feel contrived. Where nearly every death in this show up to this point has a sense of honest weight and unpredictability, maybe just as a side effect of so few of the main characters remaining, the conflict in this episode feels wholly staged and pre-planned. Other than that, oh my god, these VIPs are f***ing awful! Episode 8 is fine. The brother of the cop being the head honcho of the operation is kinda dumb and predictable, but I don't really have a problem with it. It could create some interesting conflict in the future, so even if it didn't have the desired plot twisty effect the creators may have wished it had, I'm fine with it being there. Also, the cop is definitely still alive. Episode 9 sucks, we all know this, but I don't think it's as bad as most people. As much as I'm fine with the idea that Gi-hoon doesn't use any of his winnings for a year out of guilt, it kinda doesn't make sense for his character in the way it's portrayed in the show. Gi-hoon skipped out on his daughter's birth to help someone in need, and he is constantly worsening his own chances in the games to be a morally better person. So the fact that he disregarded the agreement to take care of Sae-byok's brother for an entire year is kind of totally illogical for his character. As much as I hate watching Gi-hoon leave the plane, determined to destroy the games at the expense of not seeing his daughter again at the very end, it at least makes sense for his character. But this? Not really. Ugh, okay, whatever. Let's address the elderly elephant in the room. The reveal of the old man being not only alive, but being the mastermind of the games is totally useless and sort of assassinates his character. Not only does it put the rest of the season in a negative light, but the attempted twist of changing how we view him as a character doesn't really work. As much as I usually disagree with a lot of his opinions, I think Shafrulis Productions really encapsulated my main issue with this plot twist.
If this twist accomplishes anything, it should make us feel betrayed and angry at this guy, since he runs a crazy murder game show and he lied the whole time. But my thoughts on the old man as a character haven't really changed. I still feel really sympathetic towards him. Yeah, we know that he ran this game for decades on end, but all we ever get to see of him is this sad, lonely, tumor-ridden guy who treats the contestants fairly within the game and doesn't seem to revel in their misery. The old man appears to view the contestants as people that he just wants to play alongside, as well as give a better life to one of them in his own misguided way. And witnessing him here on his deathbed, not really in any position of power, makes me feel for him and empathize with his intentions, as morally wrong as they were.
So yeah, this twist sucks. The character who was pretty much the fan favorite for the first 6 episodes being done so dirty in the finale feels like the creators of the show actively spitting on the viewers. I don't get it, but damn it, those first 6 episodes, man. The pilot is perfect as far as I'm concerned. The second episode slows things down and lets us get to know these characters more. The growing one-sided tension between Sang-woo and Yi-hoon is conveyed really well in episode 3, the third game in episode 4 is a cool change of pace, the conspiracy with the cop and the operation within the games adds even more tension to things in episode 5, and the brutal murder of poor Ali in episode 6 made me want to cry. In my Movies I Watched Last Month series, I would give ratings to movies, but only ever talk about TV shows. Squid Game is a great example as to why I have done and will continue to do that. Where movies are singular experiences that last one sitting, TV shows can widely range in quality from episode to episode, so trying to quote-unquote rate a TV season for me just feels arbitrary. Like, based on the first 6 episodes alone, I would give this series a 9 or 10 out of 10, which would equate to a great or f***ing great on my rating scale. But adding the final 3 episodes into the equation, I have absolutely no idea how I'd rate this show. But I really enjoyed it for the most part and will happily watch the next season, even if only to find out what happens next. So, yeah, this has been Talking TV. Hope you enjoyed it. There should be another episode in this series coming out before my next Behemoth video, at least one more episode. And until next time.